Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello and welcome to another video. So, Star Wars Celebration Day 1 is officially over. Right now, we're a couple hours away from the Day 2 panels. Not as much, I think, to be announced today. The big panels will be Ahsoka's, where we might get some information about Season 2. And of course, the Bit Reactor panel, we'll be seeing more about the upcoming strategy game. That will probably earn its own video. But let's start with the actual news, which has dropped, and arguably the biggest announcement of yesterday was a new Star Wars movie. Well, they actually got several movie announcements or reiterations. Star Wars said that they've got several projects in development, including films by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, James Mangold, Taika Waititi, and a new trilogy. But I mean, will those happen? Who knows? The one that seems more likely is Star Wars Starfighter, which was fully announced yesterday, given a release date and given a lead actor, Ryan Gosling. I gotta say, pretty excited for this one. Ryan Gosling is one of my favorite actors ever since seeing him in Drive and especially Blade Runner 2049. Gosling will be playing a brand new character, and the film is set 5 years after the events of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. This also has me quite interested. Let's be honest, we need a bit of a reset after Episode 9. I don't want to have a film set in that post Return of the Jedi, pre-Episode 7 period either. So I think this is easily the best time period, and the movie is actually going to have to do a ton of work establishing what's going on in the setting. What is the major faction Ryan Gosling's character is working for? Is it the New Republic? Maybe just the Republic? Who are the bad guys? And what sort of starfighter is he flying? That's all stuff that I am very, very curious to see, and I can't wait for the trailer for this one. I actually think it's pretty likely that this movie comes out, which is wild that I have to talk about a Star Wars movie and make that determination. It's got not just an actor and a title, but a release date, Memorial Day, i.e. May 28th, 2027. So basically, we're 2 years out. I assume the script is pretty much ready, and they're working on pre-production stuff right now. The film enters full production this fall, so unless something catastrophic happens, this movie should come out. If something catastrophic does happen, though, man, that will be incredibly, incredibly embarrassing for Star Wars. What's interesting to me is it seems like, for whatever reason, Disney is fully abandoning the December release dates for their movies, which, I don't know, it's disappointing. I loved having a Star Wars movie to watch in the lead up to Christmas. But also, they're placing this one directly against Avengers Secret Wars. Talking about this about Zach, who runs my Marvel channel. He suspects that Secret Wars will probably get moved up to the end of April, and that's definitely a possibility. Kind of interesting, though, because next year, Star Wars is also releasing alongside another Avengers movie, that's Mando and Grogu, alongside Doomsday. Maybe they're really hoping that there's like some cross-pollination of fans, which I can see. Either way, they're doing some quantum box office math here. But that's a good point to transition into, I guess, the other big talking point for yesterday, or one of the other big talking points, The Mandalorian and Grogu. And this is a movie that I am far, far less excited for. You know, I really love The Mandalorian as a show, especially the first 2 seasons, and I do think it has a place within Star Wars. I'm just not sure if that place is the big screen, and if this should be Star Wars' return to theaters for the first time since 2019. As for news, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot. We know now that Sigourney Weaver's character will be another pilot. Actually, I'm just jumping on while I'm editing this because I found a bit more. It seems like she'll be a veteran pilot stationed in the Outer Rim who will be the contact between Mandalorian and the New Republic. She kind of describes herself as Mando's boss. But those in attendance did get to see some exclusive footage. Now, I can't play it here. I'm sure if you look online, you can find it, but I will describe it. It starts off with a pretty cool shot inside of an AT-AT. Mando, in this long, continuous shot, takes on a bunch of Imperial troopers. Then we see a blast knock the AT-AT basically off a cliff. Now, I only got to see the trailer once before it was taken down through copyright. To me, these looked like the First Order AT-ATs, not the large ones on crate. Those are the ATM-6s, the Guerrilla Walkers. Not those, but rather the smaller AT-ATs which accompany them. I think that was the model that he was fighting in, and that could indicate that the sort of Imperial splinter faction he's going after is developing their technology. Next, and to be fair, I guess this does say about Sigourney Weaver's character, she has a scene with Mando where she says, "You work for us." We do see that Mando has the Razor Crest back, which I just hate. It's like, since the Mando season 2, the franchise has gone out of its way to eliminate anything even somewhat bold that they've done. We get a scene of Mando and Zeb from Star Wars Rebels. Obviously based on Mando season 3, he's going to be in there. There's a couple other small things. Then the big one is Rada the Hutt. I don't get it. I don't know why they've made a movie around Rada the Hutt. I don't know why this is Star Wars' return to the big screen. I don't know why they got Jeremy Allen White as someone in Star Wars, an interesting actor with an interesting appearance. They have him voicing a Hutt. I just don't know. I mean, we'll see. I really am questioning things. All right, the last big piece of news, and this is a pretty juicy one, came from the animation panel, where we learned about the next Star Wars show, Maul Shadow Lord. I don't know. I somewhat get the feeling Maul has overstayed his welcome a little bit. From the moment Maul was brought back, was never a fan of the decision. I think since then he's been a pretty interesting character. I liked him in Rebels, but I don't know. I'm not really interested in how he got from where we last see him in the Clone Wars to Solo/Rebels, but we're getting it. And although, like I said, I wasn't super interested in the premise, the trailer winning me over a little bit. Unfortunately, I also can't show you guys this trailer. It should be very easy to find. Disney is not being nearly as aggressive in the copyright takedowns of this one. It's on the front page of r/Star Wars Leaks, but the animation looks incredible, and it seems like Darth Maul is taking on an apprentice. And what's interesting is that the apprentice looks a lot like Darth Talon from Star Wars Legends. Now, we're covering the Legacy comics on my podcast, TapCap Transmissions. Darth Talon is a Sith Lord from the Legacy era, i.e. 100 years after the events of the movies. But George Lucas really took a liking to her. Gooner, absolute Gooner moment. I'm just kidding. Don't come for me. But he liked her design, and his idea was to have her incorporated in his version of Episode 7. One idea he had was that she would be a Jedi killer who also seduced her victims. Sam Witwer, who of course voices Maul, basically said that Filoni in this show will be incorporating things that he and George talked about, some secrets. People took that to mean the trilogy he was working on before the Disney buyout. I gotta say, I was hoping for another big one, like another big Star Wars, the Clone Wars, or Star Wars Rebels, maybe set in the sequel era. Obviously, Resistance exists, but doesn't quite do it. In the meantime, this will be good. It doesn't really seem super ambitious, but I'm really happy for Sam. I think he does a great Darth Maul, and the series will be dropping in 2026. Anyway, those are my thoughts on all the news. Let me know yours, of course, down below.